Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have two topics for you today. The first one is an article from Reuters that is titled "Russia open to any Ukraine peace talks if Trump starts them." Envoy says. Who is that envoy? And this was actually said yesterday on November 14th. The second topic is United States opens missile defense base in Poland that took place on November 13th, 2 days ago. And before I give you those two topics, those two information, I want to remind you today at 11 a.m. New York City time, that is 5 p.m. Warsaw time, I have a live stream schedule with Scott Ritter. If you're interested, tune in. I will be definitely addressing the current picks that President-elect Donald Trump has made for his new cabinet, new administration, and of course we will be bringing the topic of Ukraine, what to expect in that region. But yeah, that will take place today. So tune in everyone. The link to the live stream is already attached in the community page, as well as on the main page of the channel. Just cleaning the bench a little before I sit down. Alright, let's get to the first topic. You will find the link to the article attached down below in the description box. Russia open to any Ukraine peace talks if Trump starts them. I will use it as a title of this video as well. Geneva, Switzerland, November 14th. Russia is open to negotiations on an end to the Ukraine war if initiated by US President-elect Donald Trump, but any talks need to be based on the realities of Russian advances. Moscow's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva told reporters on Thursday, that is yesterday. Trump has recently criticized the scale of Western aid to Kiev and has promised, as you know, to end the conflict swiftly without explaining how. His victory in the November 5th presidential election has spurred concerns in Kiev and other European capitals about the degree of future US commitment to helping Ukraine. And I will be quoting now, this is the Russia's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, Gennady Gatilov, who says this, quote, "Trump promised to settle the Ukrainian crisis overnight. Okay, let him try, but we are realistic people, of course. We understand that this will never happen. But if he starts or suggests something to start the political process, it is welcome." He added, end of quote, he added that any such negotiations needed to be based on what he called the realities on the ground, describing Ukraine as being on the back foot in the more than 2-year conflict. Russian forces are advancing at the fastest pace in at least a year in Ukraine and now control about 1/5 of the country. See, I didn't know that this is as much as Russian forces control. Maybe more, I don't know, because this is an article from Reuters. So I might ask Scott Ritter if this is the true, if it's not more than 1/5 of the country. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he called him this, has repeatedly said peace cannot be established until all Russian forces are expelled and all territory captured by Moscow, including Crimea, its return. The victory plan, you remember Zelensky's victory plan, he outlined last month, maintained that provision as well as invitation for Ukraine to join NATO, long denounced by Russia. Zelensky told European leaders in Budapest last week that concession to Russia would be unacceptable for Ukraine and suicidal for all Europe. So I just want to know how much saying this person still has, if any. That's first. And second, I think Ukraine has already committed suicide, unfortunately. And I think joining this when the ship is already sunk That's how you say it in the past tense. The ship already went down. You don't see the ship almost at all. Now Europe joining this. It's kamikaze. You know, like those Japanese fighters that were flying towards the target knowing that they will never return. That's kind of like that for me. Gatilov, so this ambassador, indicated Trump's election represented a new possibility for dialogue with the United States, but was doubtful about a broader reset of relations, echoing earlier caution voiced by Kremlin. I think still him quoting, the US political elites, regardless of domestic political shifts, Washington consistently pursues a stance of containing Moscow, and this orientation is deeply rooted. Unfortunately, and the change of administration does little to alter it, he said. The only shift, quoting him again, that might be possible is dialogue between our countries, something that has been lacking during the last several years, he added. I just don't know if he was making those statements before discussing this with Kremlin or just on his own, but I decided to read you this. The second topic of the day, which I have not recorded the video yesterday, so I didn't talk about it, and is regarding Poland, because US opens missile defense base in Poland. The United States had opened a new missile defense base in Poland, its first permanent military installation in the country. Polish President Andrzej Duda declared that the development shows the whole world clearly that this is no longer a Russian zone of influence. This is what Duda said. Ahead of the opening, the Kremlin warned that it regarded the advancement of American military infrastructure in Europe towards our borders as part of an attempt to contain Russia military. It promised to adopt appropriate measures. So countermeasures. It's common sense, right? It promised to adopt appropriate measures to restore parity without specifying what they would entail. The new base, which is part of a broader anti-missile shield intended to protect the US and Europe from ballistic missiles, and is located in Radzikowo near Poland's northern Baltic coast. Okay, so again, I'm not a military expert, but this is just, it's almost humorous. Protecting US and Europe, which, if anything would really come to this point, which I don't think it will, they can just fly those nuclear weapons over the territories. Okay? Isn't it? It's few seconds and that's it. You don't need this base. This is for like low level, well, it's still dangerous, but like low level danger. Again, it's just me thinking, not being a soldier, not being a general, it's just using common sense. If they're gonna fight, I mean, they could literally go to Alaska and just do it there because it's the closest, but it's not profitable. That's the thing. How much you will benefit if you have all those bases in Alaska, and then it's just like you throw the stone and boom, there it is, right? Okay, Baltic coast. Plans for the installation were initiated in the first decade of this century under US President George W. Bush. Remember that one? Then confirmed by the President Barack Obama. You remember that one? Don't we all remember that one? Construction finally began in 2016. The base, along with another in Romania, is part of NATO's Aegis, how you say, Aegis, a shore system which will protect against medium-ranged and intermediate-range missiles. So it's just like poof, 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 but the real one is like, psh, that's it. Russia has long raised concerns about the system, but NATO has insisted it is a purely defensive measure and intended to defend against missiles fired from the Middle East. In addition to Duda, so Polish President Andrzej Duda, it says today's, but this is from 2 days ago, inauguration ceremony was attended by Poland's defense and foreign minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, so the one who has his backpack ready when the blip hits the fan, and he's called Polish Tiger, Winnie the Pooh Tiger, okay? And of course, who else but Radosław Sikorski, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland. Yes, thank you USA. Nord Stream pipeline, poof. This one. You know, guys, I didn't tell you that he's actually gonna run for the president of Poland. Can you believe it? Who's gonna vote for him? I mean, there are for sure some people, but he wants to be the president of Poland, Sikorski. And as well as commander of the United States Naval Forces, 1 second, I tell you who, Europe, Africa, Stuart B. Munch, so some German dude, an American ambassador, respect to this person, I don't know, but what he said after, I will call him that, an American ambassador to Poland, Mark Brzezinski. Of course, we cannot forget about the American ambassador to Poland, Mark Brzezinski, who is the son of Zbigniew Brzezinski, all right? Now, what Brzezinski said. For the first time, we are establishing a permanent installation, an element of military infrastructure on Polish territory. Poland is extremely responsible ally, a friend and a collaborator of the United States. The Polish and American nations... Oh, okay, so this is from Brzezinski, now from the German guy, Munch. He says, the Polish and American nations stand shoulder to shoulder in the vanguard of defense against in the post-Soviet and currently Russian imperialism and aggression. So yeah, because like, you know, between Germany and Russia there is Poland, so just happened geography. President Duda, meanwhile, said that the new base would defend the freedom and security of the world, adding that the physical presence of the United States in Poland is a guarantee of the security of Poland and the eastern flank of NATO. Kosiniak-Kamysz, so Winnie the Pooh Tiger, called its opening an event of historical importance for Polish and American security, noting that the current conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East demonstrate the importance of air and missile defense. No, Sikorski now. Sikorski, meanwhile, highlighted that the fact that the project had been developed under 4 different US presidents and 3 Polish governments is a proof of the geostrategic consistency of the US, and that the Polish elites, this word elites, remain united on issues of security and foreign policies. Yes, the same Kool and the gang. I mean... That's it from Sikorski, the US, Poland's most significant military ally. Last year, the first permanent American military garrison, I think that's how you say this word, in Poland was opened. Both the current and former Polish governments have ordered billions of US dollars worth of military hardware from the United States. That has been part of a spending spree. What a spree! Shopping spree! That has been Poland's defense budget rise to the highest relative level in NATO. I remind you again, everyone, Poland numero uno, at least 4.12% of GDP this year. So 2024, we contribute 4.12% of GDP, set to rise to 4.7 in 2025. So imagine if Trump, which I think it might happen, dissolves NATO, ultimately. What's gonna happen to this, what is it, almost 5% of Polish GDP? Where it will go? In March this year, Poland signed a $2.5 billion deal with the United States for an advanced air defense system, becoming the first country other than the US itself to operate it. So there you have this, everyone, and fantastic comment of the day, which is really from the video, my last solo video, from Rock Lobster, who says, wondering what would be the local reaction if the American anti-missile base in Poland was permanently taken down as part of a grand bargain with Russia. Very interesting comment. Thank you so much, Rock Lobster. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit this like if video brings you any value, of course, otherwise don't. Leave the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video if you think someone can benefit from this type of news. Thank you so much for supporting my work via Patreon, Locals and PayPal as well. And you have my Instagram, mailing list and other platforms down below this video. Like I said, tonight at 11 a.m. New York time and 5 p.m. evening Warsaw time, live stream with Scott Ritter. Lots of love, everyone. Remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. Bye, everyone.